Hello to everyone tuned in to Econo Chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. A warm welcome to everyone tuned in right now. And today we continue the talk of something that really is an issue in Namibia, but also globally. And, when the bulk goes on, it can only be inflation. So we are talking about inflation, and, the question that we need to also ask ourselves is, what drives the economy? And we took looking at two words, and that is the investor or investment and the consumer or consumption. Welcome, Mr. Daniel Steinman.
Thank you, Elsabe. Which university did you attend?
Yours.
Because they've got a very good postgrad program, I see.
So, what drives the economy? Let's start there.
You and I can't get rid of the topic of inflation, and there's a very good reason, because it affects our abilities to survive life.
Yeah.
And that's put it very blandly, but that's what it is. And sometimes I get the feeling that the whole of life, and I'm saying this after nearly 40 years working, is always a fight against inflation. So that brings us back to the economy and what makes it grow.
Yeah.
Because remember last week I said I'm fairly upbeat for this year, despite the very disappointing third quarter last year, but then I sort of gave a breakdown of why I think we had a disappointing second half of the year.
Yeah.
Because when the stats for the fourth quarter comes out, I'm 100% convinced they will be even worse than the third quarter. So we went into last year on a roll, very good first half, and then everything sort of simmered down and it petered out, and we ended the year not on a roll. Now I come and I say this year I've got good prospects. But if you say that, you have to be able to substantiate why. And the only thing that can improve the prospects is if the economy performs better.
Yeah.
And we don't want to see that in Bank of Namibia statistics. We want to see it on the supermarket shelf.
Definitely.
We want to feel it in our pocket, our paycheck. What if the month is that whole question, what is the longest, the paycheck or the month? So because it becomes existential. If we don't realize that all of this clever analysis and formulas and calculus that we use for the subject of economics, it is all redundant if we don't improve the lives of people, ordinary people, you and I. It must make a difference to us. So you use some very big words there. If I expect the economy to perform better, substantially better, two things have to happen. Investment must improve and consumption must improve. Now, let those two concepts, let them turn around in your mind. If you say investment must improve, it means people must have the confidence to go to the bank or whichever financing institution to borrow the money.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the confidence that whatever you're going to use that money for will give it back to you, you're not going to borrow the money.
Yeah.
You see, and this is what we call business confidence. Very vague concept, but nevertheless a very important one. So the investment side is one pillar, then the consumption side is the other pillar. Now, if your income per month, your salary check is XYZ, but the stuff that you need to pay for goes up every year by XYZ times 2, it means that you are slowly getting poorer. And you can actually feel it. If inflation stays where it is, or where it was for the last 2 years, everybody gradually gets poorer.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're one of those lucky guys that can wangle a government contract and get paid $1 million for doing nothing. But that is not part of the scope of economics. We're looking at the normal condition of the economy, or let me rephrase that, at what should be the normal condition. So if we talk investment, consumption, it means that there must be a relationship between those two.
Yes.
And when we continue, I want to delve into that relationship between investment and consumption, because it offers some very interesting perspectives of when do I invest and when do I consume.
And I can't wait to hear that. Let's quickly go for that short break.